No, say it like it was a shithole. That's right.
Yeah, a shithole country, whatever he called it.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yep. Bill, you had something?
Yeah, I was going to thank each person for their comments that I thought were very powerful. All the comments this evening. I especially was impressed by Bobby's comment about voting for the masses. And that should be an idea that all of us adopt when we go to vote. It's not about me, what's going to happen to me, but what's going to happen to my community. And I think that when we think in those terms, we make different decisions about voting. I also, Joe blew me away when he talked about, almost had me in tears when he talked about kids starving in the world. Because I've been in a big discussion with a close friend of mine about aid being cut off. And I'm saying, how can we be human beings and not care about the fate of other human beings, no matter where they are? So that now, only other thing I would say is that the person who I mentioned, it came out that he hadn't cleared himself totally of that. That person ensured that I got the highest award that I ever got in the military.
Okay.
So I have great respect for that individual. And I have great respect for a lot of individuals who helped me, who I knew that just like I have some stuff in my mind, colonized mind, that I haven't gotten rid of, they had stuff in their mind that they hadn't got rid of. A lot of them were trying. The real point that I wanted to make when I talked about that was that unless we are willing, if a person is your friend, unless we are willing to confront them about that, there's no chance that they'll ever change. Unless you tell me that my pants are torn in the back and my hind parts is hanging out, there'll be no motivation for me to get them sewed up or even try to cover up while I'm walking. And so, people tell me all the time of colonized stuff coming out in my mind. And then I have to go home and think about, how do I change from this colonized mind? And it's only in circles like this that we come to face with things that we have to look inside of us to change. And that was another powerful thing that was brought out in the conversation today. And I think Joe and Leonard and Bobby brought it out, and also Ron Price and you, was that there's no out there that before we blame something on somebody else, look inside and see, what part did I play in this happening?
Right.
It's powerful what Bobby said. I didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
Why did you give me a D? I didn't do nothing. Well, that's why you got the D.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the education system at work.
So I just want to thank each of you for helping me look inside myself and grow. And each time I leave this podcast, I'm left with many things to think about. Like I said, Bobby, mass. When I go to vote, I'm voting for the mass. I'm not voting for myself.
Yeah.
Because if we look at what has been the human condition of a community of descendants of Africans enslaved in the United States since emancipation, the human condition for the masses of our community virtually unchanged.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful for that, and I want to thank each one of you for allowing me to come on to the podcast.
I appreciate you being here, man. And look, we coming up on 2 hours. We're gonna end in a minute, but I just want to ask a question, get you guys feel on this, and then we can go through a final, see if anybody got anything final they want to say. With this thing, Joe, we talk about Trump being a racist and all this kind of stuff, and I don't want to say all white people are racist or black folks are racist, but knowing our history, um, focusing on that, I don't understand why a lot of people have a problem with that. Like, Trump with this thing trying to, I think, trying to shut down the museum and all this stuff, get rid of the black history. I mean, our history is a part of their history. Their history is a part of our history. White history is a part of black history. Um, what is it? What do you guys think it is that I don't think we're doing this recapping history and all of the evil and vile crap that white folks did to black folks or people of color. Don't want to just keep throwing it in the face, but we can't just sweep that shit under the rug because, like they say, if you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it.
Absolutely.
And that's why I tested. That's why I've said on here before when we were going around in Trump's first round, talking about snatching down the monuments and all that stuff that they had up. No, don't take them down. That's the way I always felt. Don't take them down. Erect your own. Erect your own. Because when you took them down, that's why we're where we are today. Because when you talk about the masses, when they started taking them down, all of those undercover racist people, right? They came out. They came out from under the rock that you tore down. No, you can't kill my history. I'm gonna kill yours. But if you had left that there, because it was done out of anger, it wasn't done strategically. It was all done out of anger. Right? Tear it down, right? Why didn't you say, put this up? Leave it there, but put this up. Now when they say, no, we're not gonna do that. Now that's the fight that you have.
Right.
Tearing it down did nothing for you. Because guess what? That mark is still there because it was there for so long. That mark is still there. So people know, oh yeah, that used to be right there. So it's not going anywhere. It's just like let's use slavery. Slavery ain't never gonna go nowhere. Are we in slavery now? No. But that mark is not going anywhere. Just like where that statue sat, that spot, people walk by that spot for 30, 40 years, it's not going anywhere. That's going to always be a memory. And that's where we hurt ourselves. And that's why we're kind of in the position we're in today, because we always want to do stuff out of anger. Sometimes you had to do stuff out of anger.
Right.
But there's a lot of times you had to do stuff strategically too. And that's why Martin was so successful, because he did it strategically. He didn't do it out of anger. Don't fight back. Hey, lot brothers, man, if I was back then, man, shit, I'd have cooked me some white ass. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't.
You know what? I was listening to what you were saying. All of that came out during the Black Lives Matter, when Black Lives Matter came in and George Floyd was killed, and they put and I really think that we missed an opportunity ago as an African American community. We had everybody was sent home for COVID, around that time too. You
Right.
know, and everybody was on the same level playing field at that time
Right.
because we all were sent home. Not
Yes.
no amount of money or nothing could have kept you. You had to go home and shut yourself in the house.
Hmm.
And the basketball player they wanted to come out and say some things. Hey, look, we y'all got this police brutality is going out of hand. It's done got out of hand now. Da da da. So they told the white man told him, said, look, just go bounce that damn basketball. That's all you need. Don't be concerned about that. Just bounce that damn basketball. Going back on that court and entertain these white folks. And I'm just getting deep now, y'all.
Mm.
But that's the way it was. We missed a golden opportunity at that time to come together and get into some of these issues that you're talking about right there, Bob. We had that opportunity right then. We had it, but we let it go. Now they're right back as they were. They're doing this Klan thing, and they trying to cut out all these programs that benefit minority people, and black people don't have say so in nothing. The whole daggone administration up there on Donald Trump is white. One black man, he hiding. When you see the administration, he down in there. You can see him, but he ain't standing out.
He
You
ain't
know,
he ain't hiding.
no,
No, he ain't hiding. That's purpose. That's
well,
purpose. He
he
ain't hiding.
stand out. I mean, he stand out. He the only
Hey,
black
hey,
man
hey,
in there.
hey, Joe.
Uh,
He on the back of the bus. He ain't,
Mm.
he ain't hiding. That's purpose.
and that's one of those racist tools right there,
Yeah.
man.
And
He did it to Ben Carson. He put Ben
when he,
Carson was a heart surgeon,
I told you,
transplant surgeon.
when you watch that movie, Chisholm. And Shirley told you back then, said, well, why did he turn on us? The man said, because he was trying to get a cabinet position. She said, well, what did he get? He said the same thing they give all the black people. HUD.
The hood, yep.
And that was in the 70s. So if that was going on in the 70s, that it ain't changing because they still getting HUD.
Mhm.
And Tim Scott still sitting up there grinning too.
And
Chester.
listen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, and his fiance ain't there no more.
Mhm.
Well, I
You
think
know,
his fiance is the other boy from South Carolina.
Bobby, you were saying something about the white monuments. Now,
Uh-huh.
I live down here in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I don't know if any of you all have ever visited Fayetteville. And now the slave right in the middle of Fayetteville downtown, they have what is called the market house where
Mm-hmm.
they used to sell the slaves.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And for a long time, they've been debating whether or not to tear that down. I say leave it up, man.
That's right.
Well, it's still
That's
You
up
right.
know,
there anyway. They don't
leave,
let that die.
leave it up. Hmm.
They
Don't
don't let it die. Ain't
don't
nobody even talking about that no more.
Yeah, but I mean,
yeah, don't
it's
tear it down.
no, it needs to stay there for eternity. I
That's right.
think, and it
Because
should be. It's a part of the history.
and like you
Yeah.
said, Chester, if you don't know where you've been, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you have?
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a great thing and go down there and take pictures by it and all that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying is now you need to say, okay, let's find some strong black man that fought against this, and let's put his stuff up right down there too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The mayor of Washington D.C. Got strong armed by Trump to go and paint over Black Lives Matter Boulevard.
Yeah.
He told her, "You if you don't paint over it, you're not getting no money for your people, for your programs and your budget." She was almost ready to cry up on TV because she didn't want to do it. But they went on. They painted. They painted
Well,
over it.
and I'm not even gonna say he's strong armed her because going back to what I said, it wasn't about her. It was about the masses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was about the masses. She got to make sure a whole lot of other people eat.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Listen, right? I know people will be mad like they was mad at Chuck Schumer, right? But you got to understand, like when, because I didn't understand Chuck's move either. But if Chuck had to let the government close, we'd be in a worse position than we are right now.
And he would too, because he would be blamed for it.
Not, but forget the blame. This when Elon and them would have been saying, well, you saying you don't need the government anyway.
Yeah.
So now
Well,
we're going to take more from you.
the Democrat Party as a whole would have been the masses, as you
Oh,
said.
for sure. You
Yeah,
know,
they
everything.
would have been blamed for that. And it took me a while to realize that too, Bobby. Because at first I was like, go ahead and shut it down, shut it down.
Yeah.
You know, and then but as I looked at it, I said, don't give him the benefit, don't give him nothing.
And
You see
then
what I'm saying?
when he went on a View and explained it to folks worldwide,
Right.
then they understood better.
They understood then, yeah.
But
So
that's the thing, and that's my whole thing. And like, you know, I'll tell anybody, I'm not a government, a scholar on the government, by no means. But I am a thinker, and I'm a reasoner. I'm a reasonable person. So when I see things that I'm like, man, that don't look right, that don't sound right, and it don't act right. Let me check it out and see what's going on. So that's how I go about learning. And I go about learning stuff about whatever I'm trying to get into or whatever I want to know about. I don't take somebody's word for it. I like to dig into it myself. And then you don't dig into it from people that you know, you dig into it from people that you don't know.
right.
Because there's several views on everything. There's several depictions of the Bible. How is there several depictions of the Bible? Because we only have one Bible, but there's several religions that go with it, and everybody don't see it the same way.
And I think that there are many ways to approach a problem. One of the things that I live by is that I'm willing to collaborate, but not capitulate.
Yes.
I'm not going to capitulate on certain things. And so, you know, I was one of the people who got them to change the school name, the elementary school name down here from Robert E. Lee, Spotsylvania Elementary School. And the reason I did it was because I considered Robert E. Lee a traitor. And when you name a school after a traitor, what are you having the students, elementary school, aspire to? Aspire to be a traitor? And I shouted at the top of my voice at a school board meeting, Robert E. Lee took the same oath of office that I took, and he violated it. And an oath is not something that you just comply with for a few months or a few years. That's a life commitment.
That's a lifetime. Yes.
That's an oath. And Robert E. Lee violated. And so why are you naming a school for where children are going to be educated after a traitor? So those are the things that affect me when I look at some of these monuments. Is that why are we glorifying traitors? Let's just be factual about it. But I think that Bobby makes a good point. That's one way to look at it, and Joe makes a good point. I guess you know, I have to ask myself, have I ever gotten rid of the anger of having to go to a colored drinking fountain?
And
or have I ever got over the fact that I couldn't use a restroom that I had to go behind a building to let pass water, like Driving Miss the movie. You remember Morgan Freeman and Driving Miss Daisy? Had to go. But then I also remember that strides in civil rights are sickly. We seem to go and make progress, then fall back and come back. And that's the position that Reverend Douglas Moore took. And he was in the Southern Christian Leadership with Martin Luther King Jr. In fact, they were at grad school together. And Douglas Moore led the first sit-in. It wasn't in Greensboro, it was in Durham.
Yep.
Led by Reverend Douglas Moore. He was a good friend of mine. But he was Doug Moore. He would collaborate, but he wasn't going to capitulate. And that made him very controversial. So we have to set some limits and understand the impact of my capitulation. I can and all of us who have been in the military have had to collaborate and work with people of different backgrounds than us.
Right. That's right.
We had to learn to get along. I mean, we had to learn to have fun together, to go do that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we never were willing to, many of us were never willing to accept being second fiddle to anybody.
Yeah.
And many times, if we really point out, if we saw one of us, and I'm talking about a descendant of African slaves and Africans enslaved in the United States, who seemed like he was giving in, what did we call it? Y'all probably call me that. We had a negative name from it. One of the names I used to remember was Tom. They would, but that calling that using Uncle Tom improperly, we should have called him a Sambo.
Now you said someone's probably called you that.
Somebody, yes.
Come on. Never, man. Seriously. Hey, look, I'll be honest with you, Colonel. We call you some names now. But we ain't never. No, sir. That not that disrespectful. You know. I remember, hey, look, God rest his soul. I remember Cali gave you Crazy Horse. Chelsea, the old Crazy Horse. But Crazy Horse is a good leader. You know what I'm saying? But no, man, never. No, sir. No.
No, what I'm saying is that
I know what you're saying.
is that we had terms. I mean,
I understand. I understand what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah.
And that was a person who we looked at who had just forgotten the experience of our community, what our community had gone through.
Yeah.
But at the same time, how and this is a very powerful thing that you have to deal with. How do we ever get ahead? And Bobby and Joe asked that, how do we ever get ahead if I'm hung back at the colored drinking fountain? How do I ever get ahead if I get on the bus and I automatically go to the back?
To the back.
Even though I can sit in the front. How do I ever get ahead if that's my mentality?
Right.
So that's something that we have to wrestle with all the time. How do I ever get ahead if I'm unwilling to say something to a person who has said something negative to me that would upset them? And we run across that how do you deal with it?
Mm-hmm.
How do you deal how do you deal with somebody coming to the workplace telling a racist joke?
Mm. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Bobby. I didn't want you to hear that, man. I didn't know you were in the room, Bobby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's happening?
How do we deal with that?
Yeah.
Wait,
And I'm quite sure we all have had to deal with that. I know I have. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
oh,
And then
well,
you know, and then to add to that, though, well, not you.
yeah.
What you mean, not me?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like well, you ain't like them. Like who?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ah,
Like
Yeah.
who? You know what I mean? Like, come on. What are you
Mm-hmm.
saying? You know, and to take that a step further, I get as much as I love sports, I hate to hear commentators, and there's a few words I hate to hear them say.
Mm. I know it's coming.
One of them is great. I hate that word. Oh, he's a great this and he's a great that. I hate that word because ain't none of them great. They're all good at what they. The other one is, oh, he's got that what they say the basketball IQ, or
Yeah.
he's a smart football player.
Intelligent. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
okay, so what are you saying? Because now you're talking about two sports there where at least 75 to 85% of the players are black.
Yeah.
So why do we have to dictate that they have a basketball IQ?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Or he's a smart player.
Yeah. Tom Brady. Tom Brady is smart, intelligent.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
Why?
Compare him to Tom Brady. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, come on. I hate those. Those things right there burn me up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, those Bobby, those were the kind of things that I was talking about that indicate that just like I have to accept that I haven't cleared myself of a colonial mind, that's an indication that that person who says that haven't cleared themselves of the same kind of mind that's detrimental.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that we used to talk about in race relations training was subconscious bias. They call that implicit bias now. They've changed.
Mm-hmm.
Is that these are things in your subconscious that don't come out. And all I was trying to say earlier is that I've seen it come out from people who really helped me, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Colonel, these guys, I guarantee you, these guys, Bobby, Price, and Joe, when I came in the military and Joe came in about the same time, 70s, but I don't know if they had it in the Army, Joe, but I don't think they had race relations with you and Bobby and Ron, did you? Classes in the military, did they?
No.
You guys came in.
Yeah, they
No.
did. When I came in, they just started social actions.
So, it used to be called race relations.
Right. They
Am
started
I right,
doing
Colonel?
Okay. Okay.
Isn't that what they call it? Race relations, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken?
Did I ever share with y'all that I got fired from that?
No.
Y'all didn't know I was a race relations person?
Mm-mm. No. But I mean, they actually called it race relations, didn't they? Yeah. Yeah.
Man,
Race relations.
man, I have to tell you about in the school we had to make a speech. So it came my time, and I said, I don't hold nothing against white folks. My grandfather had one who worked on his farm.
Mhm. Yeah, I heard that a lot.
Old Jeremiah, he could outwork any 10 honkies. And then you silence in the room. These are all people that's trained to be race relations. I said, now I know what y'all are thinking. That nigga done lost his mind. What is he talking about? But I'm just coming at you like I know you would come at me.
Mm.
And I know that I'm willing to come here to experiment, to look inside myself so that I can really be honest with people about the race issue. And I hope that y'all do the same. But that's what I really said. You could have seen them people in that class, man.
Mm.
And then when I got back to my base, I got fired. They wouldn't let me facilitate race relations anymore.
Yeah.
I told y'all about that. Then
We didn't. That's my first I heard.
oh no, I was teaching race relations, and it was a sergeant who tried to kick me out of the service when I was an airman,
Mm-hmm.
and he said he didn't want to embarrass me. Embarrass me? How you gonna embarrass me? When you were gonna kick me out the service, you was an E5 and I was a airman first class. I mean airman third class. I said, now you're an E6, I'm a captain. So much for your appraisal of talent. So he got mad. So this 12 in the back said, Captain, why do your folks get mad when they call you boy? I said, well, y'all call us boy till we're 65, but then you call us uncle. You never call us mister.
Mm.
I'm from Texas. I can't see why you get mad when they call you boy. I said, what word in the English language bothers you the most? He said, Maryland farmer.
Mm.
Every third word I used in that class was Maryland farmer.
Mm-hmm.
Man, he turned purple, ran out of the class.
Mm.
Word came down from San Antonio. You couldn't curse in the class anymore.
Mm.
And the wing commander called me and said, Bill, I'm going to keep you as an equal opportunity officer, but you can't go to race relations anymore because you're too militant. so, so they kept me in social action, but they wouldn't allow me to go and facilitate any more race relations classes because I used to ask questions like, is the Black Power salute as American as the Confederate flag?
Mm.
I mean, if we gonna deal with an issue,
let's deal with it.
let's deal with it. You know,
Yeah.
if you're not gonna deal with it, and I can remember Chaplain McDuffie talking about race relation training. He said, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, phase no more.
Mm.
That's when they switched to just talking about ladies. Remember? They switched from race relations to gender relations.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I was one of the initial people in the air training command who'd gone through that training.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Last long. I don't know why they got upset. I was just trying to facilitate the class.
Yeah. Mm. Well, look, guy, we done went over 2 hours and a half. Joe, you got anything final you want to bring up, man?
I think I done talked out tonight.
Ron?
No, I'm good, man. Y'all educated me tonight, brother.
And listen, bro. Every time I come on, y'all get educated.
I want to show y'all one thing. Let's see, Joe, Henderson, North Carolina. The 2000, what was it, 20, last census was 23?
Yeah.
23, I think, right? I think Henderson had a population of like 14,000. That sound about right, Joe?
Somewhere around in there.
So 14,000 people. I'm going to show y'all something that made the national news with Henderson, North Carolina. Let me see. Make sure I turn the speaker on. Let's see. Hold on. Can y'all see that?
It didn't
But
come
as
up.
he approaches the gas station,
I hear it.
Come
his
up, Chester. The
car
video didn't
opens
come up.
fire. A gunfight breaks out in broad daylight.
The video didn't come up, Chester.
Just like
It didn't
every
come up?
surprise
The
shootout,
video didn't.
No, but I can
Hold
hear it, but I can't see it. Oh,
and
How
innocent
about now?
bystanders are caught in
yeah.
fire.
Man, where they get them
One
guns
school
from?
patron scrambles as bullets shatter
Them
the
jokers
glass,
had AK-47s.
and he ducks for cover behind his car.
That's a Uzi right there.
An SUV desperately flees to safety, while another man runs for his life.
Look, don't even know how to shoot it.
It was known about the cause of the incident, but 3 people involved in the shootout surrendered to police. No one was injured in the chaotic clash.
Wow.
You know,
Henderson, North Carolina, man.
Anderson, North Carolina.
That's where I'm from.
Wow. That's crazy right there.
just last night, Chester, we had a gunfight here in Spotsylvania, between Spotsylvania and Fredericksburg, where 3 people were killed.
Is that right?
Yeah, they had a gunfight over at an area up here.
Man,
Yeah, them guns,
What's
these guns ain't no
population in that
joke.
area?
And nobody trying to do nothing about guns right now.
You know,
They don't even want to talk about it no more.
it's crazy, man.
They don't.
Yeah. I'm down here in, like I said, Fayetteville, Vietnam, they used to call it.
Yeah, rough down now too.
It still is Vietnam. They have these little entertainment centers where the young folk go and hang out, you know, teenagers, jump parks and all that kind of stuff, you know. And just about every weekend, man, it's something, a fight or something breaks out. And when you see it on the news, it's always people of color. You know, I don't never see any of the lighter complected people. I don't see. I think somebody in the background over said.
It goes back to what the Colonel was saying about the inners. They haven't learned to deal with things in a different way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they still in that I'm gonna say machismo thing.
Mm.
You know, not understanding that there's a many a way to handle something beside violence, but they haven't gotten that in their head, and they haven't been taught to how to deal with things. They deal with things one of 2 ways: it's either violence or they hurting themselves because they don't know how to deal with pain. You know, they never had the pain that we had growing up. You know, with the you know, hoping that everybody got something to eat. You know what I mean? And eat what you got. You know, you go home and mom done cook roast beef. I don't want no roast beef. I won't go to Chick-fil-A. You know, come on, boy. Come on, y'all get in this car that's going up to Chick-fil-A. Now, hey, there's roast beef on that plate. You gonna eat that roast beef, or you gonna go home. It's your choice. You gonna eat what's cooked in here. But see, they don't have to deal with that now, and these are the minor things that they can't deal with. I see them in the school. Man, I don't want this old school lunch nasty. We couldn't wait to get the lunch.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? It's like lunch. Yeah. Hey, listen, I may not have ate everything in the lunchroom, but I tell you what, me and them peanut butter cookies and that peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but we was good.
Yeah.
We all day long, every day. But these kids today, no, I don't want that. They gotta have salads and all that. Man, listen. Man, Miss Earl slapped that stuff on your plate, on that tray.
The slop.
With the positions on it. You know what I mean? Hey, everything had a place.
Yeah.
Put them fish sticks on there with that corn. Yeah, go get on out of here, boy. You know what I mean? And
look, also, do you think it may be that when COVID had us all locked in, I think a lot of us drifted away from church also.
Yep.
Tested
You can watch it on Zoom.
That was long before COVID.
Well, I think COVID did it in though.
Oh, and I'm not going to deny that, but this is
Yeah.
now. If you want to talk about the church thing, this is the thing to get me. So we can talk about this. I got about 3 minutes. Right?
Okay.
We can talk about this. See, the thing that get me with church, I'm a believer, but I don't go to church. I tell anybody I don't go to church because of people like Marvin Sapp. People like Marvin Sapp keep me out of the church. Don't tell me that it's the house of God, and then tell me that I gotta become a member.
The church got to operate, Bobby. But go ahead.
No. Listen, I understand. I'm with all of that.
Go ahead.
I'm not saying that I wouldn't go. I said I don't go. Don't tell me that this is the house of the Lord, but then you tell me that I have to join that church.
Mm-hmm.
You just told me it's the house of the Lord. If it's the house of the Lord, I should be able to come in here and not have to worry about joining. But I can still do the same things. But now here it is with the Marvin Sapp thing. It becomes about money. It's dollars and cents. And if you notice, none of them guys, the TD Jakes, and the ones of color, or the ones, as you say, the other persuasion, none of them spoke against Trump because they didn't want him to come up and say, we're going to tax that church money. Because that money don't get taxed.
Mm-hmm.
So every penny that they get every penny of it. They don't want that tax. Then you're going to tell people to lock the doors and they better give you some money. That joker just got 1,000.
He didn't say lock, man. He said close the doors, man.
Same difference. Same difference. That's a
Bobby. Hey, look, I used to be an usher, man. Joe know we used to be an usher in church, man. We used to always go ahead, ushers, and go ahead and close the doors now. That ain't the first time I heard that line.
You said close the doors, don't let them out.
I ain't hear that.
Don't nobody leave here. That's what he said.
Okay, all right. I'm listening. I'm listening to you.
Hey, listen. I'm gonna get that money from y'all today, and ain't nobody leaving until I get it. Close the doors.
Yeah, close the doors. I need $20. I got 1,000 folks, and I need $20.
See, if I was in there, I'd have been the smart one. I'd have tried to leave, and when they told me I couldn't leave, I'm getting them for kidnapping. Because that's what that is. All day long, every day.
You know what? This might be a subject we want to talk about one day, man. Church.
Yes,
and
sir.
Coming up in church. Because I don't know if Joe listening, but me and Joe grew up in a church, man. I can tell you, we can tell you some stories now. But
I'm telling
you. So maybe on the next podcast, man, Joe, keep that in mind, man. I need to talk about. I ain't gonna say what church, but
Pastor we got still standing.
Come on, man.
Pastor we got still standing. I'll tell you what.
But we'll talk about that later at a later date, man. But look, I'm not gonna hold y'all any longer.
Yeah, I gotta go. I gotta go mess with other people cheering tomorrow.
Other people cheering.
Other people cheering.
Well, somebody got to do it, man. Somebody. We glad to have you out there doing that, man. Seriously.
Man, listen, man.
We need people like you out there, Bobby. Man,
listen. These kids get so terrible, man. Man, my first couple years, my kids was good, man. These man, listen.
If you don't save one, man, you done your job.
It's a couple of them, as they say, I want to take out to the woodshed.
Yeah, I know.
Whoa, man, just one time.
If you don't save one, man, that's it. You did your job. Well, look, man, I'm done. I don't know about you guys. Y'all
all
done?
Right, guys, I'll talk to y'all later.
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
Don't forget that edit.
Don't worry about it. I won't do that to you, man. I won't do it. Because believe it or not, that's why I try to cut y'all off, man. 2 hours and 34 minutes. Now I got to go and listen to this mess again. From start to finish, man. I got to go through it. Make sure I get everything nice and pretty and cut all of the stuff out that y'all don't want in there. But I appreciate y'all coming out and hanging out with me, man.
Yes, sir.
I'll see y'all in a couple of weeks.
All right.
All right. Good night. All right.